reality. Knowledge is knowing someone is lying to you. Wisdom is knowing the truth in those lies. This is a character from a very little known offshoot series of Star Trek called Deep Space Nine. The character he plays is a former intelligence operative from the Cardassian Empire that operates as a simple tailor out of the space station. He relates a great deal of wisdom throughout the entire series, but I'm pretty sure most of my audience has probably never heard of him. On the right, one of his quotes is, "Wise men speak because they have something important to say. Fools rattle on simply because they have to say something." Now, once again, a very little known character that I'm sure many of you have not heard of. Those of you who have probably tuned into the series not because you wanted to hear what Garak had to say or even you knew anything about the character. This is why you watch Star Trek. Now, this is related to that first statement, talking about reality. In today's video, I'm going to share some reality with you, some truth that's probably uncomfortable for some. Those that create these messages, these subtle hints, the unseen truths, know they have to have an audience. You can have the best story in the world. You can be telling a very important truth, but if you don't have an audience, or you cannot speak, then what good is your message? This is the actress Jolene Blalock on the left, Jerry Ryan in the middle, and Chase Masterson on the right. T'Pol from Star Trek Enterprise, we're going to cover that in a minute. Of course, Seven of Nine from Star Trek Voyager, everybody knows who that is. On the right from Deep Space Nine, Lita, Chase Masterson. A lot of people tuned into these series for this. But throughout Star Trek, there was a great deal of wisdom related. Most remember Picard, of course, the captain of the Enterprise. Inside you is the potential to make yourself better, and that is what it is to be human, to make yourself more than you are. I don't think anybody would disagree with that, but nobody's going to tune in to a series simply to hear Patrick Stewart relate wisdom. These characters are from the series Stargate, one in the middle from Andromeda. The reason I put these five together is it shows something. There was a great deal of truth, great deal of wisdom related throughout these series. But nobody would have tuned in, at least not in the masses that they did, had they not had this imagery. The same truth exists on this platform. The same truth exists on this platform. This is Amanda Tapping on the left. She played Captain Major Colonel Carter. We have, of course, covered Marina Baccarin next to her, second from left. This is her character Ardra from Stargate. In the middle, we have Lexa Doig, D-O-I-G. I hope that's how you pronounce her name. This is her character from Andromeda. The reason I included it is because that very bad series with Kevin Sorbo did relate a truth. Kevin Sorbo, the captain of the ship, has to negotiate with the almost human-like AI that controls the ship, played by this character. Sound familiar? And one of my favorites, and the name of the actress escapes me at the moment, but this second from right here, the redhead with the golden red outfit on, she plays a goddess from Egypt, Hathor. And the entire episode is about her coming to Earth and using feminine wiles, for the lack of a better term, I guess, to manipulate literally every man on the base. Even though other women on the base are saying this is going on, they are completely ignoring them. And this is the basis, the fundamental of all sci-fi. And then the far right, Claudia Black. She was also in Farscape, I believe, and Stargate. This is the point. This is what I'm going for here. It's just the truth. It's just the reality, guys, and you have to accept it. Another great piece of wisdom. When one has been angry for a very long time, one gets used to it, and it becomes comfortable, like old leather, and finally becomes so familiar that one can't even remember feeling any other way. You see, all this is designed to evoke a state of emotion, a state of feeling, not of thinking, so that the subtle undercurrent can be delivered. I'm sure a lot of you know who the top three are. I'll let you do your homework, and on the bottom two are. You cannot explain away a wantonly immoral act because you think it is connected to some higher purpose. See, virtually all immorality is connected to feeling, not thinking. And I would challenge anyone to disprove that. Virtually all criminal acts, immorality, they're all connected to operating in an emotional state, not thinking. That's why the Bible tells us to have the mind of Christ, and that the heart is eternally wicked. Now, there's something else going on, all that in mind. Let's go forward, talking about the lies that are being hidden from you. Florida. The state has come under scrutiny greatly in the last 6 months. And we have seen throughout all sorts of imagery over the last few years, devastation coming to Florida. I'm going to show you 3 different examples. You see, half the planet is blind right now to deep space. Half the planet. Why? Well, we have the Arecibo observatory right here when it was functioning. This is what it looks like now. See, I'm sure a lot of you saw the story about it collapsing. It was one of the most important deep space telemetry assets ever built. If there was a problem, people would have known. People would have known and they would have stopped it. They would have mitigated it. It was just 3 cables. They could have been reinforced. But they let it collapse. Why? Why did they blind half the planet? Why did, in 2018, this image come out? This was a video put together by Vladimir Putin, talking about his new missile system. And of all the places that he could have shown missiles dropping on, Washington, D.C., New York City, Cheyenne Mountain, California, he chose Florida. He chose Central Florida. Not northern, not southern. Central Florida. Remember the images of Jolene Blalock? This is from Star Trek Enterprise. They attacked Florida, and they cut a trench right through the center of it. There were images in that series that are very startling in their accuracy. This image I'm showing right here, let me see if I can max this out real quick. Jolene Blalock, bikini model. I believe this is not Alexa Doege, but it's a Asian actress that looks much like her. and then a British actor over here. They are all in quarantine in this image. She was also in Stargate. She played Shauna of the Red Hills. She was one of the Jaffa that were enslaved. But once again, people didn't tune in to Stargate or to Enterprise because of this scintillating dialogue. It was aimed at Central Florida. Why? Sorry, I didn't have this image set up right. Apologies. Why? And then this. We covered this yesterday. Greenland. A movie with Marina Baccarin. Marina Baccarin from Stargate. Marina Baccarin from V. Homeland. Central Florida. Not Southern Florida, not Northern Florida, not the West Coast. Why Florida? Why? I'm sure a lot of you remember Jericho. I'm sure none of you remember Invasion. Jericho and Invasion were virtually the exact same story. Invasion was told in Florida. But why have you never heard of it? Because there were no bikini models in Invasion. There were no bikini models in Jericho. That's why it got canceled. That's why it got canceled. This is just the reality. There are certain things that you have to accept. That if you want to speak and you want to be heard, you can't live in a world of how things should be. You have to live in the world as it is. And this is the world as it is. You ask why I use the imagery. You ask why I do it so often. I still have a voice. I still have a platform. I can still speak about the truth. But I can't just ramble on about any old thing. Just pointing the camera narcissistically at myself like 99% of the channels out here do. No one's going to tune in to see that. No one's going to tune in to see that. This is about the information. And this is just the reality. And for those of you concerned for the actresses, this is a Google platform. YouTube is a Google platform. All of these images are authorized Google images. Authorized by the actresses themselves or their representation. Meaning their agents. So nothing you're seeing has been hacked. Nothing you're seeing has been, taken secret from somewhere. If these ladies didn't want these images out there, they are one phone call away from Google from removing them. There are some of these actresses that can now literally, by picking up the phone, even decades later, can get cast in virtually anything they want. Marina Baccarin for sure, Amanda Tapping for sure, Marina Sirtis, Counselor Troy for sure. I'm sure Alexa Doege isn't hurting. She's been in a lot of different things. I'm sure none of these girls have any problem finding work. It just is what it is. I live in the world as it is. And that's what, unfortunately, we're just going to have to accept going forward. So, to those of you who enjoy the images, congratulations. To those of you who don't, I'm sorry. I'll do my very best to include as much truth as I can intermingled. But if you want to speak and you want to be heard, you just have to accept reality. And I'll leave it there. Like, share, subscribe.